This podcast discusses paranormal activity and other topics some might find disturbing. Listener discretion is advised.
Is it a chill or a ghostly breeze? A knock, a tap, what do you believe? Ghosts, gossip, gather around, where the lost and the haunted are found. Ghosts, gossip, don't make a sound. Truth or tales, we'll dig it out.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ghost Gossip. Guess who's here?
Me. I'm here.
Where have you been?
I've made it back.
You know, people are just been wondering. I think the rumor's been going around that I fired you.
Proof of life. This is a proof of life video.
He's here. We have been busy, and this is the first time we're sitting down together in the studio since our last Listener Happenings episode, which I think was January. Yeah,
it's been a minute. I've had a lot going on.
Well, no, we never have a lot going on. What you talking about?
But yeah, I'm glad to be in the studio.
We're here. Anyway, so today we're going to be doing Listener Happenings.
The happenings that the listeners send in via email or other method.
Listener Happenings.
How many stories we got?
We have 4, but one is really, really long. So we decided to kind of break that off into its own episode. So we have 3 for this episode. 3.
I only get to one read.
Wow.
Whoa. Lips got moving before the brain did.
He only gets to read 1.
I only get to read 1.
Before we start, I feel like we're not the energy's not where it needs to be, you know?
I think we get into the reading. I'm anticipating the reading. Like I'm ready to hear these stories.
I know, but I'm just like, come on. Let's pump it up.
The coffee hadn't hit.
Why?
I don't know.
I guess mine has. Okay, so we have some listener happening stories. Before we start, y'all, if you are not following or subscribing to the show, go ahead and do that. It costs you $0 to join for free. So do that and leave me a review, a 5-star one, a good one, a positive one. If you have a negative one, just sleep on it and then don't send it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Save your energy. It's a good thing. It's okay.
Protect your peace.
Go take it. It's really for you. Okay. So, y'all, if you have listener happening stories, you can send them to me. I love them. I love recording them. It's been a hot minute. It's been so long since we recorded them. So
yeah, and feel free to annotate in that email subject line if you would like me to read yours.
Yes, if you would like Daniel in his sultry bedroom voice.
I would like to see how many I get.
Okay. Moving on.
Okay. Just throwing it out there.
Well, thank you.
Hydration.
That's what I want for the world, remember?
Hydration.
Full night sleeps and hydration.
Clear pee for
And
everyone.
Clear pee and world peace. Vote for me.
That's how we're going to get there, via hydration.
Hey, beautiful Ashley. I just watched your recent podcast episode with your hubby, and when he mentioned how you're always looking for listener-submitted ghost stories, I immediately knew I had to write in, because I think my house may still have a resident. So let's just jump right into it. We bought and moved into our home a little over a year ago, in April. When we purchased it, we were told it had previously been owned by a woman who lived to be 102 years old. In her final years, she was essentially living on hospice care, and her daughter had been taking care of the house. The moment I saw the house while we were house shopping, I needed it. Something about it just felt so homey and comforting, like it was already meant to be ours. Once we moved in, I started noticing small sounds and bumps in the night. Nothing too extreme. But I definitely felt a little crazy because I was the only one hearing them at first. About a month after moving in, I was sitting on the couch while my husband and our kids were at the dinner table. We were in adjoining rooms, and when I suddenly looked up at my husband and said, "Do you hear that?" He hushed the kids, listened for a moment, and then looked genuinely concerned. The thing is, my husband does not believe in ghosts. At all. He believes when we die, that's it. No spirits, no lingering, no energy, nothing. What we both heard was unmistakable. Clear footsteps upstairs. He immediately went up to check, fully expecting to find someone who had somehow entered our home. Of course, there was no one there. He's starting to believe in spirits now, by the way. Later that night, everyone else was asleep, except me. I'm a night owl. I heard another sound and I went to investigate. It sounded exactly like someone turning the door handle to our spare bedroom. As I walked toward it, I noticed the door was already open, which was strange, because we religiously keep it closed. At the time, we were using the room for storage and didn't want to heat it unnecessarily. I closed the door and went about my night. The next night, I was on FaceTime with a friend, and I walked past that same door, and it was open again. I gasped, and my friend immediately said, "What? You look like you've seen a ghost." Well, yeah. As I walked up to the door, I caught a brief glimpse, just an instant, of what looked like a short woman wearing a hospital-style nightgown, and then she was gone. Since then, things have continued. I've seen what looked like the ball of light fly towards my face and then drift up to the left as I walked out of that room. I hear footsteps almost daily in the rooms no one is in. Doors will randomly be open when no one has been near them. And more than once, I've heard what sounds like an oxygen machine coming from that same bedroom. But the moment I open the door, the sound stops. Eventually, I decide to Google her name and look for an obituary, and I found it. The obituary described her as an artsy and crafty with a great sense of humor who loved gifting the things she made to her friends and family. I'm exactly the same way, which suddenly made it make sense why I felt so instantly connected to the house. But then I read one final detail that gave me chills. It said she passed away peacefully in her sleep in her home. Our house is 2-story with a basement. Given that she was 102, it suddenly clicked. She couldn't have been going upstairs in her final years. That spare bedroom we were using for storage, I realized that had almost certainly been her room. Later on, I confirmed with the neighbors that she was indeed on hospice at home, not in a facility. Hospice workers would come to care for her there. One neighbor even remembers the day an ambulance came and said it wasn't long after that when the for sale sign appeared in the yard. I will say this, though. I've never felt scared. I've never felt like she's angry or upset that we are here. Honestly, I think if she were still alive, we probably would have gotten along really well. Now that we're settled and starting to renovate parts of the house, I make a point, when my kids aren't around, to talk to her. I let her know when we're starting a new project, and I tell her I hope it's okay. I reassure her that her home is beautiful and that we're just making a few changes to fit our family of 5. She was a big family woman, so I like to think she understands, and maybe she even enjoys the chaos. If anything else wild happens in the future, I'll send an update. I love your podcast so much. And you. Sarah from Tiki Talkie.
Thanks, Sarah.
Sarah, I love Sarah. She is very crafty. She's beautiful. I love her so much. Thank you so much, Sarah. Oh, she's doing some renovations and she's talking to her little house ghostie, and house ghostie's like, "Yes, I love it." Meanwhile, ours was like, "I hate you all.
Sounds familiar.
Get out."
Sounds like she had more of a calm transition.
Yeah. Well, what I was talking, God, who was I talking to? But I was talking to somebody recently and we were talking about, how our house ghost kind of responded to us remodeling and, how he was more of like a poltergeist. And she was like, "Well, if you die a traumatic death," and I never really thought that Wayne's death was traumatic,
It was sudden.
but it was sudden and unexpected.
Yeah.
And it was from an allergic reaction. That's traumatic.
Yeah.
So
Makes
that
sense.
makes sense why, if I believe that he's there, but if, like, say we could confirm it, that would make sense as to not only just his love and passion for the house, but that sudden traumatic passing, like unexpected, wasn't ready. Like, he was fairly young.
Yeah, I mean, he was what?
He was in his early 60s.
I thought I couldn't tell. I couldn't remember if it was early 60s or mid or late, but yeah, in his 60s. That's still young.
I think like 62.
It's super young.
It's very young, but yeah, that would make sense. So she passed away peacefully in her sleep, and she's just, walking to her bedroom at night, just shuffling, doing that little granny shuffle.
I mean, if she's 102, she spent probably more than half of her life in that house.
More than likely.
And that's her comfort. That was her home.
I love that.
Yeah.
I had somebody refer to their spirit as Casper. I was like, I didn't get a Casper.
It's fun. It was funny that her husband didn't believe it all, but he started experiencing more stuff with her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it sounds familiar.
You remember that time we heard footsteps and they were as clear as day?
Yeah, in the loft.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We're sitting like literally right over our head because we were sitting on the couch.
And or the time we heard them, but we were in different bedrooms and you thought it was me and I thought it was you. And Luke even went,
We were working on something in the house that day.
wonder what it was. Was it the wall maybe? The bookshelf?
It may have been. It was something.
We had ripped the carpet out, so who knows? Who knows? We were always doing something. That house was a work in progress.
Yeah, I remember. I remember that day we were like in the midst of like you were doing some kind of project, I was doing some kind of project. But yeah, I remember that.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. The footsteps, that will get you. When you hear footsteps and there's absolutely no one home or no one upstairs, and you're like, you can't make that make sense in your brain. Like, it's like the brain just won't go there. But anyway, so you have a story.
I have a story to read.
You have a story to read. Who is your story from?
My story is from Paul.
Paul from Paul, Paranormal Paul, Paranormal Among Us. Go check him out. We love Paul at Ghost Gossip.
So Paul's subject line reads, Hat Man.
I think we have talked about this story before on his podcast and mine. And I was like, don't tell me because we're going to read it on the pod.
This is it.
This is it. This is the one.
I'm not familiar with the Hat Man.
We did an episode on the Hat Man.
Did we?
Early on.
It's like the Hat Man sounds familiar, but I can't remember anything about him.
Okay, well.
So here we go.
Spooky.
Spooky, spooky. Here's a story from my wife about an encounter in our house. It was about 20 years ago when this happened. We lived in a 2-story house at the time. We had a dog and 2 cats. I was working overnights at the time. One night around 11 or so, just as my wife was getting into bed, she heard an unmistakable sound of a cat throwing up. If you know the sound, you know how quickly you are jumping out of bed and going to check on the cat. Let me add, with a sense of dread that you have to clean that up. You want to make sure the cat's okay, but
It's the literal worst.
yeah. As she was cleaning up after the cat, her back was towards the stairs leading downstairs when out of the corner of her eyes, she sees this black figure walking up the steps, reaches the landing in between floors, and then starts up the stairs to the 2nd floor, where my wife is frozen in place watching this figure walking up the steps. She described this guy as a tall figure in a long black trench coat with a top hat. As this figure got to the top of the steps, it completely disappeared. Nothing negative or anything. At the time, we didn't know anything about the Hat Man. We just referred to this figure as the Amish guy. It wasn't until much later that someone was describing something in their bedroom that completely matched this description. It was the Hat Man. I showed her a picture of it, and her eyes got real wide, and she said that's what she saw. Luckily, the Hat Man has not been seen in our house since.
That's okay. So usually the Hat Man is tied to Benadryl use, and it's usually he is seen like usually when people are sleeping and then like wake up. So it's interesting to me that she was wide awake because usually the Hat Man is something that is seen by people like.
But she did wake up suddenly because of the cat, so that would make sense.
Yeah, I guess so. But like she's up and moving and it's not like standing over her and it's actually like walking upstairs. I don't think I've ever heard any story of the Hat Man like moving about.
Well, I will say this. I have seen you clean up after the animals in a half sleep state before, so from waking up suddenly.
Was the Hat Man there?
I did not see the Hat Man. I'm just saying she could have woke up suddenly and still been in that state.
Yeah, that kind of half awake, half asleep. Yep. Yeah, maybe.
Where she was able to see him.
Paul, did she have Benadryl that night? I'm curious.
Some ZQL.
No, it really is tied to
Yeah.
Benadryl for whatever reason. But I guess it could be, what's the active ingredient in Benadryl?
Benadryl.
No, it's, oh my gosh. Okay, Benadryl. It's pink. I don't know.
You can crush it up and mix it with water and rub it on insect bites.
You can, and like hives,
Yeah.
or if you're having an allergic reaction, you can put just a tiny bit, not in your eye, anybody, but just a tiny bit right near the corner, and it will actually clear you'll have pink on your face, but it will make your eyes stop itching.
Yeah. It's really good for like bad mosquito bites.
Bee stings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mimi taught us that.
Little homeopathic remedy for all the folk.
Yep. Thanks, Mimi. Ding.
Ding.
All right. Next story. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Paul. We should have some like next story buffer music.
I don't. Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Devin.
Hi, Devin.
Hi, Devin. I have been a ghost hunter since I was a teenager, and I have a lot of stories. Some ghost related, and others are general shenanigans. The one I am sharing today is a little bit of both. I forget the year and the exact location, but it was somewhere outside of Holton, Kansas, on a piece of land that just had an old barn and a newly built garage with a lime green vintage trailer duct taped to the side.
Nice.
That's something you see in South Carolina.
Heck yeah. Right up the road.
Just right up the road in Piedmont.
Our Gray Court.
A shout out to Gray Court and Piedmont.
Lawrence County, y'all.
Hey. It was in the middle of nowhere surrounded by farms. During the drive out, the rest of the team was talking about how it was the craziest place they have ever investigated. And the first time they introduced themselves for an EVP session, a disembodied voice said, "Hello." So expectations were high going in. During an initial walkthrough, we were about to enter the barn when the lead investigator tried to knock a spider web from the door with a mag-light torch, one of those large, heavy metal flashlights. The next thing we know, he drops a digital recorder and starts beating his arm with the flashlight, hollering incoherently. By the time he had calmed down, there was a dead spider on his arm, and we laughed it off. For the longest time, the spider was the most exciting part of the investigation. I was in the garage, staring at the front door. There was a door opening into the lime trailer, but except for a few steps in the trailer, nothing was happening. Now to clarify, this was before a lot of the apps like Necrophonic or Spirit Talker, and we did not have REM pods, dead bells, or cat balls. So we were literally sitting in the dark waiting for something to happen. We did have an Ovilus, and it was set up in the corner by the front door. There was a work table and exterior door along the back wall. There was a digital recorder set up there, and the back door was locked. At some point in the investigation, I was sitting in the garage with another investigator, and we heard footsteps through the field behind us. The steps were loud, crunching steps through corn husk and debris. They got louder and closer. My friend turned around, his flashlight on, staring at the black wall, and I personally stared straight ahead at the door, trying not to panic as the steps got closer and closer, and louder and louder. Then, when they were the loudest, like they were right at the back of the garage, the Ovilus screamed an electric, ghastly scream for the first time. The other investigator shot out the front door, booking it around the garage to see what was behind the building, hollering for the other team in the barn. I ran after him because I would not be caught alone. After some chaos, we met up with the other team, but there was nothing. No deer running across the field, no teenagers trying to play a prank. There was nothing behind the garage except an empty cornfield and lights from a farmhouse a mile away. For the sake of our sanity in the moment, we chalked it up to local wildlife and finished the investigation an hour later. It wasn't until we were reviewing the digital recorders did we hear something else that night. On the work table recorder next to the door, we heard the steps. How they got closer and closer. You can hear us shuffling, listening to the back wall. Then, right before the Ovilus screams bloody electronic murder, the back door handle jiggles like someone was testing the lock. This experience was undoubtedly the most terrifying moment I have ever had on a ghost hunt. And sometimes I wish I remembered where it happened to try and go back. But I am okay never going back. Let me know if you're interested in some more details or stories. Thank you. Devin.
Wow, that's got to be so eerie, listening to that back and then all of a sudden hearing on a recording what you heard and then nothing being there. That's wild.
Or like thinking that maybe you made it up in your brain and then going
yeah.
back and listening, and then it's like,
Yeah.
Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
But you said, but it wasn't there, or it didn't record anything.
Well, no, I was saying like, yeah, same thing. Like you were hearing it, but you didn't think, you thought you were hearing it in your head. And then all of a sudden, and then you're listening back to the recording and you're like, oh crap, it was actually,
Yeah.
but there was nothing there.
I heard it. There was actually something there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Oof. Oof. So I will say I've never heard footsteps on an investigation when I've been on them. But hearing footsteps in the house, it is an eerie feeling.
Yeah, it makes you feel like you're not alone.
Well, you're not. You're not alone.
I guess it's just very in your face.
Yeah, it's more like,
It's like Isaiah coming down the stairs. You know he's coming down the stairs.
oh my gosh, the whole house shakes. It's like with his giant feet.
It's so bad. Sometimes I make him go back up the stairs and then walk down them.
You're like, no, try that again. That's what we learned in parenting. Like when we did those parenting and child things, like to be a better parent and be a better child. That 14-week family program we went through.
Yeah.
We learned that, a way to help alleviate some of the issues, if you tell them to do something and they don't do it right, then you make them do it again, and you just keep making them do it again. And then eventually they're going to stop and do it right because they don't want to do it again.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Parenting. I loved our neighbor. Her face the other day was just like, she kind of twitched and was like, yeah, block those years out.
Shout out to Nancy. Yeah. So, let's update the people on our little house spirit.
Let's update them.
Let's update them. Al, good old Al. So Al passed away in the house April 8th, 2011 in the bonus room. So funny things about that. If y'all have been listening for a while or you follow me on social media, you know that I talk about Al sometimes and how I had all these feelings about him and these assumptions. And I don't know where they come from. I just know certain things,
Weren't we talking to her on the 8th? Wasn't we talking to her on Wednesday?
Mm-mm.
Or was that Tuesday?
No, we didn't. It was Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
the day
Tuesday.
before
Mm-hmm.
the anniversary of him passing away.
Yes, April 7th.
Not a coincidence, I don't think.
Yeah. So maybe it was April 8th.
It was either Tuesday or Wednesday. Wednesday was the 8th.
Maybe it was April 8th because we were eating sketty. I was talking about when I found out I was pregnant with Daisy because it was the same day.
Yep.
So 15 years ago, I found out I was pregnant with Daisy on April 8th, 2011, and Al passed away April 8th, 2011. So I found out his death date by finding his obituary. And when we first moved in here, I would run the necrometer a lot, and I would get a lot of military terms.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's that word?
Infiltration.
Yep. And then talks about ammunition. I was in a war. I was in combat. I saw like a lot of that stuff.
Veteran.
So I found out through this obituary that Al served in the Navy and he fought in World War II. Other things that I had assumptions about was like the puzzle.
Mm.
When we first moved in, Daniel's like, I think I'm going to take that puzzle down and put shelves there and put some like cabinets and stuff for storage. And I was like, no, don't do that. Don't take those down. And he's like, but where am I going to put them? I was like, put them over there. Just put them over there. Do not take that puzzle down.
Yeah, I just wanted to move the puzzle. I didn't want to like destroy it and get rid of it because it is an amazing puzzle.
It's giant.
It really is. But it's huge. It's what, probably
8 feet.
8 feet by 6 feet.
Something like that. It's huge.
It's huge. Takes up a whole wall in the garage.
Yes. And so I was like, no. And I was very adamant, do not touch that puzzle. And turns out that Al loved puzzles. Loved puzzles. He loved them. And he would specifically get people off the street and walk them into the garage and show his puzzles off.
Miss Nancy said anytime anybody came over, he always showed them the puzzle because he was so proud of it.
And that's one thing that I've said. I bet he was really proud of that puzzle. Don't touch it. I've said it so many times. And what did Miss Nancy say?
He loved that puzzle.
He was so proud of that puzzle.
It's because of its size, and it's, I don't know what style of painting you would call it, but it's impressive to be able to put a puzzle that size together.
But so it was just so weird. And I was like, do you think he liked 1950, 1960 music? And she's like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Knowing Al, yeah. So it's just really cool that all of these little assumptions that I had, these feelings about him, were correct. And I was talking about him in the bonus room and how he loves the bonus room. And she goes, he was always up there. He loved the bonus room. That's where he was.
His office and his like puzzle tables where he spent most of his time was just on the other side of this wall.
So it's really cool hearing that validation and, that all of my feelings and intuition about good old Al have been correct.
Yeah, it's very cool.
It's very cool. Daniel telling Miss Nancy, you never get used to it.
No, you don't.
My goodness. But yeah, that is our little update on Al. Our house has been extremely active. And usually when that starts happening, it's like my ancestors coming in and his ancestors coming in because something's coming. So it should be interesting the next few months for us. It definitely seems like something is impending. Like it's
there's change coming.
Oh yeah.
What's that? There's a song. That's the line. I feel a change is coming soon. Is that the name of the song?
I don't know. I don't know the song.
I have to look it up.
So we have I heard footsteps in the house the other day. We've had some just overall feelings and noises, a lot of bangs, a lot of slams.
Well, we did just paint the house.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
But it's painted. It's been painted multiple times since Al lived here. So
Yeah, I don't think we didn't upset him.
But the cabinets or the built-ins and those haven't been painted.
Yes, we did paint those. So, but it hasn't felt negative or nasty. It's just been loud.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can really describe it. Loud. They've been noisy. Sometimes I can go weeks and not hear a tap or a knock or footsteps. I've heard it all this past week. It's been, the energy in the house has been active.
It's definitely
super
shifted.
active. So something is coming. Something is coming. That always happens when something's about to happen.
Yeah, but it doesn't always mean impending doom.
No, it doesn't mean in doom. It just means there's something coming. Change. Change is on the horizon.
Don't be afraid of change, y'all. It's odd. Random. Kind of icky.
Yeah, I didn't love it.
Yeah, it gave me the ick.
You gave yourself the
I gave myself the ick. I'm like, ugh.
That was... Where do we go from here?
I'm going to apologize to myself and you right now. I do apologize.
Thank you. We will form a support group later. Y'all email me and we will form a support group. Surviving the ick with Daniel. Speaking of ick, the video of you running up the golf course bit over.
I was waiting.
Trying to pick up that napkin.
Plugging that reel.
That's so good. It's on my personal page. It's so funny. But anyway, guys, thank you. If y'all have stories, keep them coming. Keep sending them in. And yes, I will read them. I will read them happily. And Daniel will read them happily. And we love hearing your ghost stories. So
and feel free. The cat ball's going off. Did you hit the table?
No.
Yep.
Well, that was cool.
Yeah.
No, I did not. I didn't hit the table. I don't think I might have moved some. But look, like I'm rolling. This is me rolling.
And Mandy hadn't moved.
No, Mandy's not in here. I kicked her out. Can you do that again? If there's somebody in here with us, can you set that cat ball off again, please?
There's one behind me too, so I was wondering if...
I don't know if hers is on. I know I had to turn her bubble light off. Can you do that again, please? I mean, maybe, did I hit it with no, because I can't even turn that way.
I mean, you have to go back in the video and watch, but
I will.
I just looked up and
That's funny. Like, see, this is me shaking right here. Yeah. Like you literally have to touch. And that shelf is 2 feet behind me, my chair. So, that was cool. Talking about how active it's been and one of the cat balls goes off. That is so cool. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I was about to. Okay.
Yeah, Mandy's not even in here.
Mandy's. I kicked her out.
Yeah, she just scratched the door.
Now she's crying. Sorry, guys. I got so that I love when the cat balls go off because I'm so glad I turned them on. I had a feeling. I was like, I'm going to turn these on. Bird is not in here. I'm just going to see if one goes off. Oh my God.
It went off.
That is so cool. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you, Al, for doing that. We were just talking about you, confirming. Do you like what we've done with the house? You can just nudge that cat ball again if you like what we've done with the house, or if you don't, I don't know. I don't think he meant to set him off. I think he was
sitting in.
He was sitting in. He's like, oh, man, they're talking about me. I better sneak out of here. Oh, no, they'll never know. Blast those cat ball lights. Okay, well, we'll wrap it up. So if it does, I'll stay up that way. That was cool.
That was very cool.
Is that the first time you've seen it go off on its own?
Like that, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay. Listen and subscribe.
And like.
And follow.
If you want me to read your story, please annotate that in the subject line. Just.
For Daniel. You can just put my ghost story for Daniel. Good old Danny boy. Oh, guys. Okay. Yes. Follow him on YouTube. Make sure everybody's doing that. Y'all tell a friend. Tell a friend. Somebody heard of my podcast in Verizon the other day.
That's right.
Oh, that was cool. Okay. Yep. He looked at me and goes, is that you? I was like, yeah. And he goes, I know. I've heard of that. And I was like, does this mean I'm famous now? One person other than my friends and family.
You can't go anywhere.
I can't go. Well, I really can't. I run into people I know everywhere.
You do.
I really do. Oh, anyway. Okay. What am I trying to say? I don't know. Sorry. This is a train wreck.
Like, subscribe.
Email.
Do all the things.
Email your stories.
Give us your stories.
ghostgossip247@gmail.com. Until next time. They'll see you later.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.